call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded. To accept this free call, press 1. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
What's up with it, bro?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing
well.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you is first. We just start there.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, world. This is King Man, a.k.a. Woodlawn. I'm from Northside St. Louis, 33 years old, currently incarcerated. Been down for about 14 years now.
Yeah. And how long did you get sentenced total?
Total? My sentence was 26 years. I had 4 charges, 2 robberies, 2 ACAs. I lost out in trial. The jury imposed my sentence. I'm a first-time offender also. So this is my first time being like, I don't even have a juvenile record. And this is my first case ever. And so the jury gave me 2 10s, 2 3s. When it came down to my actual sentencing phase, the judge decided to run the charges consecutive, meaning one after the other. And so it totaled out to 26 years.
26 years.
Yes, sir.
When you found out you got that much time, how did you feel?
Oh man, I was devastated. Man, like that feeling that washed over you, right? And like I'm sure there's a lot of guys that familiar with that feeling, especially in here. When the judge say something outrageous number that's like at the time it's unfathomable, and man, it was devastating, man. You know what I'm saying? I was 19 when I caught my case. I was 21. I got sick. And just to hear it, like, consecutive for a total of 26 years, man, I'm feeling like this. It felt like my life was over with. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't see that far ahead, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, like, it's a horrible feeling, bro. Like, it's a horrible feeling. You can see, like, the callous in their eyes, the judge's eyes, like they don't really give a fuck about this young black man standing in front of them that deserves a second chance, that should be given a second chance. Try to do better, you know?
Yeah. Now you just said something that kind of stood out to me. You said that you felt like your life was over. Or well, you didn't see life past that too much past what the time you gave you. Why would you say something like that?
Because I was so young, like I hadn't really like at all like experienced life yet. You know what I'm saying? So prior to my incarceration, I'm living day to day, and you know, just the type of the kind of lifestyle that I was living, you couldn't really see like years. You know what I'm saying? You can see years into the future. Like I think I'm gonna be doing this, and so that's how it kind of felt like that. Like I just couldn't see that long.
Yeah.
You know, could you imagine being early 20s, 2021, and you hear a judge say 25, 26, 30 years, and you just like, hold up, I can't even. You know what I'm saying? Damn, it take 30 years for me to learn my lesson. You know, it take 26 years for me to learn my lesson.
Right.
Yeah, so like, and then so for me anyway, I couldn't really fathom or like after perceive like just how careless they are. You know, like it didn't give like the judge gave no fuck about like the amount of mitigating circumstances and evidence that had he had gone over. I'm sure he would have rendered a much more lenient verdict. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now,
I just come to believe, like, yeah.
Can you like speak on like that once? Now that it's I guess in a sense kind of over for like the case wise. Can you speak on like the nature, like what's around, like the charges, mentions of the charges?
Yeah, of course. Initially, I was charged with 3 counts, first-degree robbery, 1 count of first-degree assault against a law enforcement officer, and 4 counts of armed criminal action. And so I took it to trial. I was acquitted of 1 of the robberies and assault on a police officer and the 2 ACAs that were attached to them 2 crimes. However, I was found guilty on the other 2 robberies. You know, and I kind of felt like I was gonna get found guilty on them 2 anyway. But yeah, so it was a robbery, a senseless robbery about a young kid. Really, like first of all, let me say like there's no I'm making like no excuse or reasoning or minimizing the victims that I created. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my mindset right now. Is like no more victims. So I'm by no means minimizing what they had to go through to my actions. But however, the crime, it was young kid, substance abuse, and made a stupid decision.
Yeah, like you kind of spoke about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm still, but like no one was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I believe they got the things back that was taken. And again, like I can't stress this enough. That's not to minimize what they had to go through into my actions, but due to all that, and also in addition to that would be my behavior while awaiting trial in the city jail. You know, a lot of guys come from the streets or whatever, they go get in prison in these jails, and just kind of like a mini version out of the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still like a dangerous environment. But I managed to get through it without, any conduct. I was down there for maybe about a year and a half, maybe 2.5 years, something like that. And I didn't receive any conduct violation. I had paid my GED, parents' church services. I had gotten a job as a tutor, and I paid my GED. And I just maintained some good behavior, like while I was down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even with all the evidence, I had family and friends like rallying on my behalf to the judge, as far as like my pastor. Even some of the guards that was in charge of watching me in the wings had written letter to the judge, pertaining to how they see me behave and act and, my behavior and that. However, the judge even cut nothing about none of that. And he did what he did,
Yeah.
Now we're here.
What were you doing before you went in? Like, how was your life before you went in?
Before I went in, let's see. Prior to coming to prison, man, I was in the streets,
Yeah.
Just a guy, I won't say that became a product of the environment, more or less. Because, we always got a choice. When we growing up in, the inner city, these impoverished neighborhoods, gang-ridden neighborhoods, drug-ridden neighborhoods, it's not many options. And the options that we often do have are hidden from us, sometimes intentionally. And so we fall victim to what we see in the media and what we see outside our houses. And so, got involved with gangs, drugs, and, things like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It still made me like who I am, though,
Yeah.
Oftentimes I think if I could, I'd go back and change any things that I've been through or have done. And for me, it's kind of hard to be like a solid head, because I know that any one of them experiences or situations or any other moment, if any of those are taken away, you subtract something from the equation that I currently am. You see what I'm saying? So if I was to change the variables, then I'd be a different person right now, maybe completely, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was involved with the games and drugs and guns, man. Was out there just living wild, living fast. Hopefully I'm making things more, you know?
Yeah. Like you said, that's why I asked you earlier, like you said, you didn't see life past, 26 years or whatever. Like, damn. Like you said, you living day to day at the time. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you get charged, then you later on getting sentenced to 26 years. How was that first day? You went through the city jail. You was in there for like a year or so. Then once you got to prison, how was that first day?
I think it was tense. Of course I was nervous. You got mad, the 21-year-old kid stepping off into, what I'm only can assume at that time is like a hostile and hopeless environment, a hostile and hopeless institution. On top of that, I'm walking in and I'm carrying the burden of like having to do a little bit more than a quarter century of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't particularly afraid or more anxious than anything, because you really don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're gonna go ahead and it's gonna be stereotypical things you may see in the movie, or maybe it may be nothing like that. Maybe it may be a little worse than that. But yeah, it was tense and nervousness, anxiety, based on not knowing what to expect.
Gotcha. Now, prison, they are deemed as rehabilitation centers. Do you think they serve any good purposes?
I'll say, man, decades of research has shown that the Department of Corrections officials lend credence to retribution and deterrent theories, right, rather than placing significance and emphasis on rehabilitation. The rehabilitation theory has been the object of vigorous critique, and as it holds two very distinctive elements. One is there's a matter of rhetoric, and two is a matter of substance. And so when the incarcerated individual seeks to rehabilitate himself, it is often viewed by correctional officials as mere rhetoric. But for the incarcerated person, it's a matter of substance. Traditionally, rehabilitation is not something that the state provides, but it's something that is achieved when the incarcerated person undergoes the process of reflection, remorse, and atonement. And after much time to reflect, and with the benefit of hindsight, I would say that prisons can serve a good purpose. But the exception of that is to staff these institutions with people who actually care about having guys not rehabilitate. Quite often we see so many CEOs and staff members and prison officials that just don't care. They take no interest in guys actually becoming better. And these institutions are robust with vindictiveness, unprofessionalism, racism, bigotry, and the like. Little effort is made on the part of the staff to give the tools and the resources that will prepare guys to re-enter society successfully and to not reoffend, and therefore add to the recidivism rate. The way I see it is that prison will either make you bitter or it will make you better. And it's up to the individual that's exposed to this experience to decide which course he would take and how he will allow himself to be affected by the exposure. We have a saying in how we respond to the madness, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're saying the right things, then your dialogue will positively influence your destiny.
Power of the tongue.
Definitely.
How would you say prison changed you?
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
I was about to say, prison has changed me. Well, thus far, this prison experience has afforded me the opportunity to develop an excellent perception, right? You see, I learned to see things differently, right? Like I changed the way that I look at things. And they say, like, when you change the way you look at things, then the things you look at will change ultimately. However, it's only after I put forth an effort, then my desire to make a positive change within myself begin to manifest. I wanted something better. I needed something better, something great, something spiritual that I was lacking, that I was missing. I needed something capable of igniting my passion. I learned that all life is precious. I learned that nothing should be taken for granted. And so now I wish to make like a positive impact in my community, in the world. And I say that through my efforts and taking advantage of some of the resources, that I'll become a better person, a better father, a better son, a better friend, a better brother, a better Muslim. You know, I don't wish to, and I don't wish to propagate lies or nonsense, right? So now I want to peddle potential and hope, you know. And I feel that since then that I've discovered who I am, and I've decided who I want to be, right? And so, you know, the court attempted to recognize time. You know, they recognize the time of yourself. But I came in, and alhamdulillah, I had the mindset to be able to use it for my benefit. You know, and in a sense, you know, what the old saying, you do your time, don't let time do you. So that's what I did. I did the time, but I ain't letting time do me, bro.
And you say you wanted to be a better father. How many children do you have?
I have one child.
How old was your child when you went in?
Man, my daughter was 3 months.
Wow.
She was 3 months old. Yeah, 3 months, bro. She was 3 months old. And you know what? She actually was 3 days shy of being 3 months. You know? And so now she's 14. Her name Madison Renee. Man, she's a beautiful young lady. And like, you know, it's a horrible feeling to have missed out on so much of my baby's day to day. You know, we still had our contact, you know, via phone calls, letters, and visits, but not being our day to day, man. Like that's how I say that it's like how they recognize the time. That's another way to recognize the time is that they're taking the fathers out of homes for centuries. Not for centuries, but for decades at a time. They taking us out of our children's lives, out of our family lives for decades at a time. But you know, it's just to know that my presence or the lack thereof could possibly contribute in a negative way to her disposition or her mannerisms and what have you. So I'm doing my best to, you know, from her install good morals, good values, confidence, and all those things that a young lady needs. I will say that she has grown and evolved into a beautiful, intelligent young lady, man, and I'm proud of her. She just started high school, you know. And I would like to give her a shout out to her mom, right? For making sure that my baby knew who her father was, or is, rather. Like, even that's one thing I never take away from my mom. Her mom is that regardless if you could see eye to eye or you read and over the years, she done made sure that my daughter knew, like, who her father is. And where you was at. Like, before my baby could fully talk, right? Like, you ask him, like, hey, what's her daddy name? And she'd be like, hey, our daddy name King. He locked up. You know what I'm saying? So,
sad to say, but at least she knew, though.
Yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't want to hide from her. So, yeah, shout out to her mom, man, for doing that for me, man. It means the world to me. Y'all feel like I am. I love the Lord who's good.
Now, since you've been incarcerated, how's your support from, like, you know, the friends, the family, you know, the women, you know, the women, they be all on, even like them niggas, they be all, you know, it's gang and all this. Like, how's their support?
Let's see. I say, well, alhamdulillah, the support over the years, it's been, the family, like, they really showed up. They really been showing up for me. You know, there's been a few friends, few of the homies, right? You got some that like, they perfect with you. And, like, you know, once out of sight, out of mind. So once you gone, they lie to you, they call, and you call, whatever, and, you know, they may sting you about whatever. But then, you know, I pray to God that I have some that stay solid, you know what I'm saying? I stay solid, so they stay solid. And they do what they can for me. So I most definitely appreciate the ones who's keeping it all the way 100, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's women here and there, you know, and like the support I say has made the prison bit a lot easier to traverse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm extremely grateful and thankful for all the family and friends, loved ones, the ones who have made me some sort of a priority. You know what I'm saying? Not number one, not number two, not number three, but like I made the list though. You know, they make sure like after they get done, you know, doing whatever life requires them to do out there, they make sure that I'm all right.
Still had you in mind, shit.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And like being in here, you actually see how rare it is. Cause you come through here, man, and you see a lot of guys that ain't like. I trip on it sometimes how that I might complain or maybe it may not be entirely satisfied. Cause let's say mom sent me $50 instead of $100 or some shit like that. But then, like, to walk through this environment and see some guys who family and friends and, like, abandon them completely, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not like a conscious effort to make a comparison, but some of these things you can't help but see. And once you see them, for me anyway, once I see them, then, like, them be moments where I reflect. Cause who used to say like I couldn't have been that guy who can't make it to canteen for 5-6 years. You know what I'm saying? Living off state tip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm extremely grateful, man, that the ones who've been here, that still here, man, that they doing what they can for me, man. And I really appreciate it, most definitely.
Yeah. Now, upon your release, once you do finally come home, what are some of the first things you want to do?
Man, I mean, like, it's so big, man. Man, like, it's so many things that I would want to do, right? Like, in an attempt of, like, stand on deen and stand mindful with Allah. You know, I want to find a masjid to attend, you know. I know that I have to stay anchored in the Quran and the Sunnah. So I guess, like, after seeing family and friends, man, and thanking them, spending the time with them. And maybe find me, another gym to go to, and continue to further my Islamic studies. I mean, but of course, that's the technically correct answer, right? It is like for real. With being as candid as I can, I have to say, like, I really don't know what's the first thing I'm gonna do. You know,
yeah,
like,
so there's a variety of things.
Oh man, yeah, man. Like the world's so different than it was when I was out there. Like when I was out there, like we still had flip phones. You know,
Yes.
I got locked up. Man, I got locked up with a flip phone, a Tony Erickson, man. Now they got phones that fuck around and cook a pizza for you. If you ask me to. You know
For
what I'm
real.
saying?
The times have definitely changed.
The internet wasn't what it is now. Man, like it's just so much. It's so many things to do. It's so much to do. I've been going since I was 19, bro. So I'm 33 now. So that's a swell life that I have yet to experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to live, man, and pursue happiness. You know.
Mm.
And of course, be a law abiding too. You know.
He said, "Oh,
I
man."
don't know, bro. For real. It's how much stuff to do, man. I'm just don't. I might have might try to get me a little plan in place, but ultimately I'm gonna wing it. You know.
Yeah. If you can give advice to young men that's out here and calling themselves, you know, living that lifestyle that you said you were living before you went in, what advice would you give them?
Man, let's see. I think to young man out there, it would be to search for your purpose, right? Find your purpose. We often find ourselves in the things that we get lost in. Resolve to have a positive impact on the world, on the community. The lifestyle that Davies and Son of, it isn't worth the trade-off. You know, it's not worth the freedom. It's not worth the life. It's not worth the soul. I know a motley of men that never come home again. You know, the judges are still handing out lengthy prison sentences. System want to steal your youth. The streets want to steal your life. And Satan want to steal your soul. So, like why are we continually killing one another, harming and hurting one another? Like, who has the strength to break the chains? You know, who has the wisdom and the courage to stop the fights? You know, does anybody get like mad and stuff? Like when they think about the generational curses that's on our people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how long can we continue to fall for the same tricks, the same antics, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I got the food for thought, right? And guys, that's worthy of mastication. I want you to think about this, right? Think about the profession of like a judge, a lawyer, a policeman, right? Now, quite often, we see generations of families in these positions. If you would take a trip to a courtroom, like I'm sure many of us have, you will find that the grandfather, the father, the son, hell, even the son-in-law are all judges or all in line to be a judge or something along them lines. The same thing with police force. You have the grandfather, the father, the son, the son-in-law, all within these companies, businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now check this out. Check out the juxtaposition, right? Now you take a trip to any prison yard in Missouri, and there you will find generations of black families. You know what I'm saying? That is to say, grandfather, the son, the grandfather, the father, the son, hell, even the son-in-law are all on the prison yard. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
SFH, right? It's abysmal. Or you'll find generations of them in graveyards. The grandfather, the father, the son, hell, even the son-in-law, have all been gunned down somewhere in the streets. And it's mind-blowing. The reality of it is absolutely dreadful, you know?
Yeah, that's deep, man.
That's deep, bro. Like, that's deep. And I think Dr. Sid made me mad, bro. Here's another thing, right? Think about this. The 13th Amendment was passed by Congress on January 31st, 1865, and ratified by the required 27 of the 36 states on December 6th, 1985, and proclaimed as a state on December 18th, 1985. Excuse me, 1865. Excuse me. Now, the 13th Amendment reads as follows. It says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party should have been duly convicted, shall exist in the United States or any place subject to this prohibition. Hold on. It's an except. They got an exception in slavery. The amendment they're supposed to abolish slavery. So this incarceration, which is a punishment for a crime, is actually slavery. So, I mean, how do it make you feel to know that slavery is still, like, legally exists?
Yeah.
According to the Bill of Rights. According to the Bill of Rights, if you in prison right now, then you are a slave. You know, if you ever been to prison, then you was a slave. Like, you was technically, legally, and literally a slave. And that's just them type of things that it haunts you, bro. I thought that just make you mad as fuck.
Yeah, cause you don't understand them laws, them words, and all that. They basically they putting it in your face.
Yeah.
They telling you.
And then I guess lastly, my probably most importantly, my last advice to him to be, you know, I would let him know like that. I believe that there's no God worthy worship except Allah, and that Muhammad, Allah Islam, is a slave messenger. And with that being said, I believe in the last day. I believe in the judgment, which is the Yom Kippur. You ever heard of the? I know you heard this phrase before. This mantra, YOLO, right? You heard that before? You only live once.
Yeah.
Well, there's a quote in my beliefs, right? That's a lie. That's a lie in Shaitan, man. The truth of the matter is that you only die once, and that you live twice. Once in this world, and then eternally in the hereafter, whether it's an eternal blessedness or eternal wretchedness. It's like, and that's real. And I hear that's real.
Yeah, it's deep, man. That's deep. I'm say, one last question. If you can go back and talk to your younger self before you went in, what would you say?
If I go back and talk to myself, man, I'll probably tell myself be patient and to be prepared for a protracted struggle, a long struggle. And I will let the younger me know that the struggles eventually become strength. You know, I will tell myself that the losses will come, and to try not to let them blindside me completely, and be sure to search for the lessons that accompany the losses, right? I'll tell myself, man, you need to cultivate your talent, and you need to put effort behind your desire. I'll let myself know that a casual flirtation with bureaucracy will only birth poor relationships. I will tell myself to take advantage of every second of every day, right? And I'll tell myself to create balance in my life, because that balance will ultimately lead to my evolution, and that evolution was spawned in extraception. And I tell myself to go with the LA Rams for Super Bowl in 2021.
Yeah. Well, I would say I appreciate the time, brother, man. It's good for you to, get on here and share your story. And, hopefully somebody that's watching this or listening to this will hear your story and kind of, use it to kind of help them head in the right direction.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah. I wish you, luck on your time, and hope you come home, as soon as possible, brother.
Most definitely, man. I'm on my way there, you hear me? Inshallah, most definitely on my way.
Most definitely.
Yeah, can I throw my info out while I'm on here?
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
Alright, Assalamu alaikum word. Like I said, man, it's Lil King, man, a.k.a. Ridwan. I'll say that if you felt moved or inspired, or even infuriated by my words, I mean, you should let me know. You can email me. Just log on to either jk.com or satiric.com and add me to your list of contacts. Your name is Party, H-A-R-D-I-N, and the DOC number is 120-3525. So yeah, just get me, man, or woman. If you got any comments, questions, or whatever it may be, but I'm glad get my advice or opinion or whatever it is, And so with much alacrity, I look forward to hearing from you.
Appreciate your time, brother.
Definitely, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate the platform, man. You know what you're doing, man.